Hi Aries, welcome to your mid-November 2019 tarot update. It's Raina here. I was shuffling the cards, and sometimes I'm like thinking to myself, okay, what sign am I going to do? And I'm actively thinking, but this time it said do Aries. So I'm doing Aries. Whoa. Okay. I feel like I just did a reading for you. I don't know if I'm thinking of a different sign, because I actually got two of those cards in the same position. Was it Cancer? Boy, that's strange. Because I've been doing other readings in between. Well, might as well start from the top here. The heart of the matter is the Death card. It's funny because this does connect with Scorpio. And since you have the same chart sequence as the universal chart, your 8th house is Scorpio, and we have a lot, this sun in Scorpio at the time of the full moon in Taurus, which is going to occur in your 2nd house. We're going to have the sun in the 8th. And this may be just a time where you're kind of scorpionic, where you're thinking about the deeper things in life, Aries, which you tend not to do. Not that you're not intelligent and everything like that, but you're just such a ball of energy. And you're so into just like, there's like such a force field around you, and just I always feel energized by people like Aries, because they're always doing something. They've always got, like, some irons in the fire. It's very energizing, yeah. But the Death card can point to some kind of an ending, and we have as the past position, even for some people it could be the death of somebody that you have loved, because this is a card of grief, experiencing grief, and this is the past position, but who knows how far in the past. It might be something that is an ongoing thing, depending on what area it's occurring in your life. The Death card relates to transition. So an example would be, let's say that you have recently been laid off. The Five of Cups can be that you have experienced a lot of disappointments, a lot of grieving that you've been doing about this. Perhaps there was like death by 1,000 cuts. Getting your hours cut, getting, whatever, getting a lower salary, who knows, and then finally the end. And so you've already been in that state of mourning, and it's like you're just a lot of upheaval. Looking at some of the heavy hitters, your career might be where this is happening, because you have Pluto there, you have Capricorn, well, that's your 10th house, but you have Pluto, you have Saturn, and you have the South Node. And so if you're the kind of Aries who's always kind of taken comfort in, career success, the South Node there may have kind of been like, no, not so fast. You need to focus on the North Node. You need to focus on your family life. And then it might have been the same, where you've been having these changes because these are where the eclipses have been occurring. And so there may have been some losses there. Some of you may have lost your mother in the past. This would have been, maybe earlier this year. I don't know. And or you lost your home. either by foreclosure or through some kind of other reason, or you had to downsize, you were forced to downsize because it just became too expensive. Taxes, property taxes, or you couldn't afford the mortgage anymore. And so these losses may feel like they're taking their toll on you. And, I know that there are Aries people that have really gone through a lot of changes in the last decade. The higher message, so this is a spiritual guidance, is the Queen of Swords saying, you have to make a choice, and don't make it based on your current emotional state. Okay? The choice can be, maybe you have to sell your home and you're just clinging onto it. Or maybe your career, you need to change careers. That you're in a career that layoffs or, nosedives are very common, and maybe you've had several. An example would be like working in the banking industry and then having, the mergers, and it just like maybe you've been through several of those and finally you lost your job because, when banks merge, some people may keep their jobs, but some people won't. And, if they have a few of those, they may realize that a particular industry is just too unstable, or even just something where it doesn't appeal to you anymore, but you're sad about it because you have some good memories or something like that. Of course, I could talk about relationships. That tends to be the first thing I talk about. I wanted to, give those people who are interested in other areas of life that variety. But yes, you could be like facing the impending death of a relationship. Maybe you're hanging on to it, but you've already grieved the loss of it because of things that have happened. What crosses you is the Eight of Wands. This is a card of like, again, wands, this is fire energy. And it's like things starting to move fast. I even can think timing-wise, the end of November when we have a new moon in Sag. But something is being held up because maybe you refuse to let go. So it's almost suggesting that if you let go and you accept the transition, the transformation, this could even be like alcoholism. I could see this where it's time to let go of this addiction. And, the Five of Cups can be that that you have to stop and you're mourning that day coming, but you still haven't done it. But, that happens too. I think that when we do something good for ourselves, like break an addiction, for instance, that the universe rushes in to reward us. If we make the choice to get divorced, even though it may be a hassle or it's going to, turn our lives upside down, or maybe in some cases it's going to be costly because you're going to have to pay the other person, whatever it is. It's like, if you don't, you're left in limbo, and that can be an almost more unbearable kind of a feeling than moving forward. Because you're the type, the Eight of Wands, I don't know if that connects with a particular fire sign, but I could totally see it doing so with Aries, because you're kind of like always in forward movement. But it can still happen if you, get the ball rolling. What's coming in? This is a great card. Nine of Cups, wish fulfillment. So I feel like, better days are ahead, okay, for you. You may have been suffering, may have been like literally suffering. And now, if you can let go of the need to hold on to something like a relationship that's dead, a job that's dead, and move forward, you are going to receive the universe's blessings in the form of your cup runneth, I was going to say runnething over. Okay. The Nine of Cups is obviously going to be an emotion that feels that way, but it could be even financial in certain respects. You know, I've seen that where they, you know, they translate it that way. And the outcome is another great card, the Three of Pentacles. This can be a card of material abundance as well. The number 3, we're in a universal 3 year. Maybe you're going to end the year on a high note, Aries, if you felt like you've been dealing with one loss after the other for some reason. Three of Pentacles is about getting your foundation set up. You do have Saturn in that 10th house, and that would correspond with the foundation. So the key is joy, especially for fire signs, you know. Do you feel a sense of happiness when you get up in the morning and you're about to go to work? If you don't be afraid to look into other avenues. And with the Three of Pentacles, the Architect's card, you're building something beautiful. Or you can build something beautiful. Maybe it's your own business. Who knows? Maybe it's time to work for yourself and be autonomous and to not have to take orders, but to give them. Actually, it's not unless you're going to hire people, but simply by being, you know, practicing self-determination and saying, you know, I want to make certain decisions on the job. I don't want to have to consult with somebody to make those decisions. I want to experiment on my own. I want to be kind of very you know, feel that sense of autonomy, you know. So I actually like this reading a lot for you. You know, when I was putting out those first 2 cards, I was like, oof, you know. But all's well that ends well. Okay, that's what I have for you, Aries. If you'd like a personal reading, the link is below. Otherwise, have a great, you know, mid-month period. I never know what to say during these types of readings. How awkward. Okay, take care. Bye.